I want to talk about grief today. I think we all can identify at some point in our life the passing of a loved one and how it leaves us. The emptiness, the sadness, the just overall depression that you go through when you lose a loved one. And whether if they're sick for any time period or if it's sudden, it doesn't really matter. The pain is still the pain, and trying to get through it one day at a time is not easy. Um, I've recently lost my mom suddenly, and the shock still hasn't worn off. It's been, almost 4 months now, and I still, even today, I had the thought while I was driving, what's my mom doing today? Should I go pick her up and bring her up here? It's a nice day. It just doesn't leave. I pee in I'm in the grocery store and I see an old woman, and from behind it looks like my mom, and I get very emotional. All these things trigger that grief inside of me. Um, but I do know that at some point um, it will lessen, and I say that, you know, from my experience, it has lessened somewhat. I pray a lot on it, and I try to visualize my loved ones uh, just at peace. No more problems of this earth, none. At total peace and um, just with God. Uh, there are days where it's just so overwhelming, and I can't even get to that thought, and I'm just filled with sadness. And on those days, I cry and let it out because I feel like keeping it in is just only going to keep me, from healing. So I try to cry whenever, and I've said to myself, there is no time limit on this grief, none whatsoever. I'm going to just go along and grieve as I feel I should grieve and do what's right for me. And I do the same with others. When they ask me about it, I say you just have to grieve in your own time frame and however you have to get through it. And don't let anyone tell you this is wrong, that's wrong. There's no handbook on grief. It's just a part of life, a sad and unfortunate part of life that we all have to go through. But I've grieved my animals who have passed as well, and I don't feel the same that I felt, that overwhelming feeling, but I'm still, I still have that piece of my heart that's missing. But, uh, I guess the most important part for me today about grief is that I don't let it define me today. I have to go on with my life and try to live a life that's full and happy, and not sit around and be sad all the time. I try to work on that. And, if you stay in depression for too long, then you go into that dark hole, and I don't want to go into the dark hole. It's a bad place to be, a really bad place. And when I was in that dark hole, I needed to take drugs because I just couldn't take it. And I don't take drugs anymore today. Today, I look to God for the solution, to help me to get through one day at a time. And when the grief comes up, it passes. It doesn't stay as long. And that's the good news today. And that's the hope I have going forward, that, uh, you know, I could coexist with my grief, and it's not going to kill me today. So that's all I know about that.